Every morning, before the sun painted the sky with golden colors, Tougbay Jr. woke up with a smile. He loved getting ready for school. He loved learning. He loved helping others. And most of all, he loved taking care of his little brother, Mandela. Mandela wanted to do everything just like his big brother. If Tougbay tied his shoes, Mandela tried too. If Tougbay packed his backpack, Mandela packed his little one. To Mandela, Tougbay wasn't just a brother. He was a hero. Although Tougbay didn't always realize it, someone was always watching him, learning from every choice he made. Sometimes, the people who admire us the most are standing right beside us. The next morning, Tougbay Jr. walked into school with a cheerful smile. "Good morning, Tougbay Jr.," called his teacher. "Good morning, Mrs. Johnson," he replied. Tougbay Jr. loved school. He loved learning new things. He loved asking questions. And he especially loved helping others. Before the first lesson even began, he was already helping pass out books, organizing supplies, and assisting classmates who needed an extra hand. His teacher trusted him because he was responsible. His classmates respected him because he was kind. Whenever someone felt confused, Tougbay Jr. would patiently explain the lesson. Whenever someone felt left out, he invited them to join. Many children looked up to him. Many wished they could be like him. But even though everyone saw a confident young leader, sometimes Tougbay Jr. wasn't so sure about himself. Sometimes he wondered if he was good enough. Sometimes he wondered if he measured up to everyone else. And on this particular day, a small doubt began to grow. Later that morning, Mrs. Johnson announced exciting news. "Class, today we'll be presenting our science projects." The room filled with excitement. One by one, students proudly shared their work. Tougbay Jr. had worked hard on his project. He had spent days researching, reading, and practicing. When it was his turn, he stood tall and explained everything clearly. His classmates listened carefully. Mrs. Johnson smiled. "Excellent work, Tougbay Jr." Tougbay Jr.'s heart filled with pride. Then another student named Daniel stepped forward. Daniel's project was amazing. It included moving parts, colorful displays, and creative ideas. When Daniel finished, the entire class erupted into applause. Mrs. Johnson awarded Daniel a shiny gold star. The room cheered loudly. Tougbay Jr. clapped too, but deep inside, something felt different. A small voice whispered, "Why wasn't I the one who got the star?" For the rest of the day, that question stayed with him. Not because he wasn't happy for Daniel, but because he wanted to feel just as special. That afternoon, Tougbay Jr. walked home with Mandela. Mandela skipped happily beside him. "Guess what, Tougbay Jr.?" Mandela said excitedly. "I drew a dinosaur today." "That's awesome," Tougbay Jr. replied. When they arrived home, Mandela proudly showed everyone his drawing. Mom smiled. Dad smiled. Everyone cheered. Mandela beamed with happiness. Tougbay Jr. smiled too, but that small voice returned. Everyone is praising Mandela. At dinner, Dad shared exciting news. Isaiah called today from his army post. Tougbay Jr.'s eyes lit up. And Aaron received an award for outstanding service. The family applauded. Tougbay Jr. smiled. He loved his brothers. He admired them. But once again, the little voice whispered, "Isaiah is amazing. Aaron is amazing. Mandela is amazing. What about me?" That night, as he lay in bed staring at the ceiling, Tougbay Jr. wondered if he would ever be special enough. He didn't realize it yet, but Dad had noticed. And soon, a very important conversation was about to begin. The next afternoon, school was over and the warm sun painted the neighborhood in shades of gold. Tougbay Jr. walked home beside Mandela. Usually, the two brothers laughed together. Usually, they raced to the front door. Usually, Tougbay Jr. pointed out birds, butterflies, and funny-shaped clouds. But today, he was quiet, very quiet. When they arrived home, Mom welcomed them with warm hugs and fresh fruit for an afternoon snack. Mandela couldn't wait to tell everyone about his day. Dad, I counted all the way to 100 today. That's wonderful, Dad said with a big smile. Mandela giggled with pride. Tougbay Jr. smiled too, but only for a moment. Dad noticed. Later that evening, while Mom helped Mandela get ready for bed, Dad found Tougbay Jr. sitting alone on the back porch, watching the sun slowly disappear behind the trees. Dad quietly sat beside him. For a few moments, neither of them spoke. Sometimes, the best conversations begin in silence. Finally, Dad smiled gently. "Long day, Junior?" Tougbay Jr. nodded. "A little." Dad looked toward the colorful evening sky. "I noticed something today." Tougbay Jr. looked up. "You've smiled with your face,"
Dad said softly.
"but not with your heart." Tougbay Jr.'s eyes filled with surprise. Dad had seen what no one else had noticed. For the first time, Tougbay Jr. felt safe enough to tell the truth. Tougbay Jr. took a deep breath.
"Dad,
"Can I tell you something?" Dad smiled kindly.
you can tell me anything."
Tougbay Jr. looked down at his hands. "Sometimes, I don't think I'm special." Dad listened without interrupting. At school, other kids get awards. Everyone claps for them. He paused. "Mandela always makes everyone laugh." Another pause. "Isaiah serves our country. Aaron serves our country too. They're amazing." Tougbay Jr.'s voice became quieter. "I want people to be proud of me. I want everyone to like me. I want to be important." A single tear rolled down his cheek. What if? What if I'm just ordinary? Dad gently placed his hand on Tougbay Jr.'s shoulder. "My son, I'm so glad you told me. You know, even grown-ups sometimes feel that way." Tougbay Jr. looked surprised. "They do?" Dad nodded. "They certainly do. And that's why what I'm about to tell you is one of the most important lessons you'll ever learn." Dad pointed toward the sky. The first stars were beginning to appear. "Junior, how many stars do you see?" Tougbay Jr. looked up. "Hundreds." Dad smiled. "Do they all shine exactly the same?" Tougbay Jr. studied the sky.
"No.
"Some are brighter.
Some are smaller."
Some twinkle more than others." Dad nodded. "That's right. Now imagine, what would happen if every star wanted to be the biggest one?" Tougbay Jr. thought for a moment. The sky wouldn't look the same. Dad smiled warmly.
"Exactly.
God didn't make every star to shine the same way. He gave each one its own place, its own purpose, its own light." Dad looked into Tougbay Jr.'s eyes. "And he did the very same thing with people. Isaiah has his light. Aaron has theirs. Mandela has his. And you?" Dad gently tapped Tougbay Jr.'s chest. "You have a light that belongs only to you. If you spend your life wishing for someone else's light, the world may never get to see yours." Tougbay Jr. slowly looked back at the stars. For the first time, he wasn't comparing them. He was simply enjoying how beautiful they all looked together. Dad looked up at the stars one more time before speaking. "Junior, can I ask you a question?" Tougbay Jr. nodded. "Who do you think helps more people? A soldier or a doctor?" Tougbay Jr. thought for a moment. "I don't know." Dad smiled. "That's because it's a trick question." Tougbay Jr. giggled. Dad continued. "A soldier protects people. A doctor heals people. A teacher helps children learn. A firefighter rescues families. A farmer grows food. And a mom and dad fill a home with love." He paused and gently squeezed Tougbay Jr.'s shoulder. "They all wear different uniforms, but they all have the same mission." Tougbay Jr. looked curious. "What mission?" Dad smiled. "To help others." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Dad pointed toward the family photos hanging inside the house. "There is Isaiah. He serves with courage. There is Aaron. He serves with honor. And one day," Dad smiled at Tougbay Jr. "I believe you'll wear a white coat instead of camouflage." Tougbay Jr.'s eyes grew wide. "A doctor's coat?" Dad nodded proudly. "And every patient you help will be another way your light shines." Tougbay Jr.'s heart felt lighter than it had all week. Maybe he didn't have to become someone else. Maybe being himself was enough. The next morning, Tougbay Jr. woke up feeling different. Dad's words stayed in his heart. Different uniforms, one heart. As he walked to school, Mandela skipped beside him, pretending to be a superhero. "Look, Tougbay Jr. I can fly. Tougbay Jr. laughed. Careful, little buddy. At school, Mrs. Johnson asked, "Can someone help Emma organize the library books?" Before anyone else could answer, Tougbay Jr. raised his hand. "I'll help." Emma smiled. "Thank you." Together they sorted books, stacked shelves, and organized the reading corner. When they finished, Emma whispered, "I couldn't have done it without you." Tougbay Jr. smiled. Not because everyone was watching. In fact, no one else even noticed. But something inside him felt warm. Helping someone made his heart happier than hearing applause. Without realizing it, the little seed Dad had planted the night before was beginning to grow. That afternoon, recess was filled with laughter. Children played tag. Some climbed on the playground. Others gathered together to play Roblox stories they had imagined the night before. Tougbay Jr. joined his friends. They laughed. They built incredible worlds. They solved exciting challenges together. Suddenly, a younger student accidentally dropped his lunchbox. Books scattered across the sidewalk. His water bottle rolled across the playground. Some children hurried past. They didn't even notice. Tougbay Jr. quietly stepped away from the game. Without saying a word, he picked up the books, closed the lunchbox, brushed the dirt away, then handed everything back with a warm smile. The little boy looked up with grateful eyes. "Thank you." Tougbay Jr. smiled. "You're welcome." As he walked away, no one clapped. No one gave him a prize. No one handed him a gold star. But something wonderful happened. For the first time, Tougbay Jr. realized doing the right thing already felt like a reward. And from across the playground, Mrs. Johnson had quietly seen everything. She smiled. Not because Tougbay Jr. wanted attention, but because he had helped when no one was watching. That was the kind of leader every community needs.
I don't have to race the wind or be somebody new. Every dream inside my heart can bloom because it's true. Some will teach and some will lead. Some will cross the sea. But the greatest gift I'll ever find is being simply me. One small smile, one helping hand can change somebody's day. When I choose to love with all my heart, I'm already on my way. This is my light. This is my song. I don't have to be someone else to belong. I'll lift others high. I'll stand up for what's right. The world shines brighter when I share my own light. Isaiah stands with courage. Aaron serves with pride. Mandela fills our home with joy that sparkles deep inside. Dad reminds me every day, with every hug so tight, the world becomes a better place when I shine my own true light. Maybe one day I'll wear a doctor's coat. Maybe I'll help someone heal and find hope. But whatever tomorrow brings, one truth will guide my way. Kindness is the brightest light I can share each day. This is my light. This is my song. Love is where my heart belongs.
And that, my friends, is just the beginning. Stick around, because the next part will take you even deeper into the adventure. If you're enjoying the story so far and want to hear what happens next, don't forget to subscribe.